Hi, welcome back to What's Cooking in Worcester. I'm Kelly Williams, nutritionist with the Worcester County Health Department. And today we have a special holiday edition of What's Cooking in Worcester, where we are making over Mother's Day brunch. I'm going to show you a healthy, delicious, and make-ahead breakfast that you can make for your mom this Mother's Day. Let's get started. We're going to start with 2 peppers. We have a red, a green, and an onion, but you can use any vegetables that you like. And we're gonna dice this up. The secret for anytime you're doing a variety of different vegetables that might have different cooking times, you wanna make sure you really get these items as close to the same size as possible. If peppers aren't your thing, feel free to substitute. Lots of different vegetable options here. And we're just gonna do the same thing with our red pepper. And you see these little white ribs inside. This whole thing is edible, but a lot of people just like to remove that. So you can just run your knife along that little part there and pull that out. If you'd like to get a jump start on things, you can go ahead before you start dicing your vegetables and preheat a saute pan to about a medium heat. You can have that getting warm and ready so that as soon as you're done chopping, you are ready to get those things in the pan. Okay, there's our red pepper. And lastly, I am using a sweet onion. That's just personal preference. You could use a red onion, yellow onion, whatever you like in this dish. And this is the part of the recipe that really takes the most amount of time. But I will tell you that many grocery stores sell these items pre-chopped, pre-cut, ready as a convenience item in the produce aisle, or many of the local large big box stores or even the dollar stores will have this blend of onions and peppers available in the frozen department. I also took a little help from the grocery store and I have some mushrooms. These are just baby portobello mushrooms. I bought them pre-sliced just as a time saver. They're nice and clean and they're ready to go. We're gonna take our whole cutting board and our mushrooms over to our skillet. I'm just gonna give our skillet, it's on low, but we're gonna give it a little bit of olive oil. Any vegetable oil would do here. If you like avocado oil, that's a great, we're not frying these, but it's a great sauteing oil, or any vegetable oil that you like. So you just want to give your oil just a minute to heat up as well, because even though the pan was warm, we want the oil to be warm. So when we kind of see that little shine, we know that we're about ready to go. And it's got a nice sizzle, so we know it was ready. Okay. And the reason we're cooking our peppers and onions before adding them to our egg mixture is because these items give off a lot of moisture when they're cooked. And we don't want our egg mixture to be soggy, so we're kind of getting that moisture out right now. So we're looking for our onions to be sort of translucent, and then we'll go ahead and add the mushrooms in. And this will take maybe 3 to 5 minutes depending on the temperature and how big your pan is and how much room you have for everything to spread out. Okay, so we're gonna keep a close eye on our vegetables that are sauteing in the pan, but we're gonna go ahead and get started on our eggs because we have a lot of eggs. Now, I know that egg prices have gone up and that's definitely a concern for many people, but I do wanna mention that eggs, while they are slightly more expensive than they have been traditionally, are still a very economical source of protein. So an average serving of eggs is about 2 large eggs. And of course you get a dozen, and you can still get that for about $3 to $4 in most places. So you still are getting about 6 servings out of the dish. And I'm using the full package of eggs here. Okay. And to my egg mixture, I'm just gonna go ahead and start to whisk this up. Okay, and I'm also gonna add just a small amount of milk. This is a 1/4 cup. If you don't do dairy milk, you could use any unsweetened plain milk. Another alternative that's really great substitution-wise, if you didn't want to use milk, the same amount of cottage cheese. That would be another way that you could increase the protein intake but get some of that nice creaminess that you're getting from the milk. We'll leave that there. And you can see, just nice and mixed, easy. And let's go back and check on our vegetables. So we're gonna go ahead and add our mushrooms. And these will shrink down quite a bit. Spinach or kale would also be really great in this dish if you want to get even more greens in. All right, and while we're letting the mushrooms go, we're gonna go ahead and go back to our last vegetable. I'm just using these little baby cherry tomatoes. Now these we don't have to cook ahead of time. We're gonna put these in, but we are gonna cut them. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. If you used larger cherry or grape tomatoes, you might have to cut them into quarters, just because we're looking for, again, bite-sized pieces that are all the same size. So we want these to be about the same size as we diced our peppers earlier. Those are tomatoes. All right, let's see how we're doing on our other veggies. We are still waiting for our mushrooms to shrink down, and basically when they're all brown and the moisture's out, that's how we'll know this is ready. And while that's going, we're gonna get our baking dish ready and just spray it with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of salt and pepper. And remember, the key here is just really making sure we're getting the moisture out of these vegetables so that our egg mixture doesn't turn soggy. Okay. So we got our vegetables nice and tender, and now we're gonna add them to our pan that we've already sprayed with some nonstick spray. So go ahead and spread everything out to a nice even layer, and I'm just going to sprinkle my little tomatoes over top. And now we have our egg mixture. Remember, this was just our dozen eggs, a little bit of milk, and some salt and pepper. And pour that evenly over the top. Now this step is optional, but I recommend it. I'm gonna add just a bit of shredded cheese on the top, and you can use whatever type of cheese you like. Today I am using mozzarella, but use your favorite. Now we're ready to put it into the oven, which is preheated to 375 degrees. Right, our egg bake is ready to be taken out of the oven and enjoyed. Okay, doesn't that look beautiful? All of those nice colors. We've got green, red, orange, yellow, everything in there. Just as a reminder, this is totally fine to make ahead, so if you need to make this and reheat it, feel free to do so. And this recipe, as I made it today, makes 6 servings, so it's a pretty hearty portion. Now, if you're serving this with brunch, it would go really well with a little side salad, or today I'm just gonna show it plated with some fresh berries. And that is our beautiful egg bake for Mother's Day brunch. It's really tasty, lots of flavor, and a really nice texture too. A little bit more puffed up than an omelet and not as dense as a quiche, so it's nice and light and fluffy. And again, really nice portion size. I hope your mom enjoys it, or the other special lady in your life this Mother's Day. For the Worcester County Health Department, I'm nutritionist Kelly Williams. Remember to eat healthy, be active, and prevent diabetes today.